everyone, it's me, Mrs. Smith. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. We are going to learn about bees next week, so I thought it'd be cool to go over it so you know more about this insect, this creature. You've probably seen some around because spring is here and the flowers are blooming and these bees need all that nectar and pollen. So let's go over some of the facts. Buzzy Bee. Busy Bee has work to do. She crawls out of her hive. She spreads her wings. Busy Bee is looking for a flower. Busy Bee flies over a stream and she flies past an old oak tree and into a field because the field is full of wild flowers. We know that bees love flowers. Busy Bee lands on a flower, and each flower holds sweet drops of nectar. Bees make nectar into honey. Nectar and honey are food for bees. Busy Bee laps up the nectar with her long, narrow tongue. She will take it back to the hive. So there's a busy bee lapping up the nectar, that sweet, sweet nectar, because that's food. And she uses the nectar to produce honey. Each flower holds grains of pollen, and flower pollen is food for bees too. The pollen sticks to Busy Bee's furry body, and she brings it to the hive on her two back legs. Sometimes pollen is the stuff that makes us sneeze in the springtime. So pollen is actually food for bees too, the flower pollen. Busy Bee is a worker bee. Inside the hive, there are thousands just like her. All worker bees are female. Ooh, we're worker bees. Busy Bee dances a dance, and she waggles her bottom and she crawls in circles. Her dance shows the other workers the way to find the nectar. And if you can see that she's made it back. And if you look, there's honeycomb right here. Inside the hive, the bees make cells. Some are for the honey the bees make from the nectar, and some are for the pollen the bees have collected, and some are for the eggs that the queen bee lays. So look at all the different usage for the cells. And if you look down here, you notice that they are labeled. So this is like a diagram for honeybee cells or pollen cells or even the little egg cells. Busy Bee has work to do. First, she feeds the drone bees, and all drone bees are male. Those females are feeding the males, and the drones mate with the queen bee. Then Busy Bee feeds the queen bee. The queen bee lays 1,000 eggs every day. Ooh, she sounds busy. It's a lot of eggs to lay. Inside their cells, the eggs hatch into bee grubs. Oh, you should see this picture. Busy Bee and thousands like her take some pollen mixed with honey and they feed it to these hungry grubs. Busy Bee has work to do. She feeds the bee grubs every day, and when the grubs are 9 days old, she seals their cells with waxy covers. So when they're 9 days old, she seals them. And inside their cells, the bee grubs change. They grow legs and wings. They grow long, narrow tongues. And in 12 days, they change from grubs to bees. And they crawl out and wait for their new wings to dry. Busy Bee and thousands like her touch the young bees with their feelers. And if you see, there's a little photograph with a caption that mentions feelers, what they are. They make them welcome in the hive, and they feed them honey from the cells. Busy Bee has work to do. The young bees are hungry. Where can she find more flower nectar? Where can she find more flower pollen? Where are some places you think you could find all these flower pollen and flower nectar? Is there anywhere in your yard that the bees might like to go? Think about it. Look, another bee is dancing. So there it goes in the circle. She's found a garden full of flowers, and she waggles her bottom and she crawls in a circle. And her dance shows Busy Bee how to find the garden. So they're doing a little dance to show them where to go. Busy Bee and thousands like her fly from the hive. They find the garden full of flowers. They drink the nectar. They take the pollen. Busy Bee has work to do. Look at all those bees. Oh my goodness. And here are some of the words that we went over. Hives, drones, nectars, queen bee, pollen, bee grub, which is a baby bee, cell, and feelers. Now you know a little bit more about bees.